I have a pile of props today, just a small pile, because I want to talk about something. Here in Costa Rica, I was thinking about this morning. My name is Suzanne Tidkmeyer. I was a writer for Pathos, no longer quivering for almost 10 years. Before that, I had been no longer quivering for about, let's see, a year or two before that, something like that. Talking today about living here in Costa Rica and the issues of wearing clothing. This came up last night in a chat I was in with someone, and it came in on somebody else's channel who was talking about somebody was talking crap about me and my clothing here. Good morning, B and Aaron. Hey, I'm talking about clothing in Costa Rica today. One of the things about Costa Rica is it's where we are, it's hot. It's hot all the time. We are talking all the time 90-degree or better weather every single freaking day. If you do get a night that goes down around 60, you grab your sweater. You get so used to the heat here. But really, the best way, you need a new wardrobe for moving from Boston to Orlando, Aaron? Yes. In fact, it's kind of funny. I have a huge old trunk. I have all my winter clothing in there. Well, all my winter clothing that made it through customs here. My 3 coats, only one made it. And I'm not too upset about that because it's a one of those puffer coats that you can roll down to like small. So that's really the kind I would need here. But what you need here is like stuff like I've got on now. This is rayon, sleeveless, even though I know the new IFB and the IFB and some other fundamentalist places like to say that sleeveless is sinful. Why would sleeveless be sinful? I'll show you. Sleeveless is sinful because of bra straps, which is the most ridiculous thing in the world, if you ask me. In the modesty sphere, if you even hint you're wearing a bra, there's going to be some kind of problem with that. Our pastor got up and did this long rant one time. And I remember turning to a girlfriend of mine at the time and saying, does he know that that it gets really hot here in the summertime? And you have to go sleeveless? You just have to. And Aaron, I know you were in Orlando. Orlando, the favorite place of the kid in Book of Mormon, where he wanted to be. Orlando's got some nice weather. Nice and tropical weather. So there's that. But I'm going to tell you something. It gets so hot here that a lot of times most of us go braless. I know you see me on here ranting and posting braless. I'm broad today because I had to go to the doctor to show him my infected eye to get some ointment. So if I'm going to the bank, I'm going to the doctors, I'm going to the lawyers, I'm doing something in a professional capacity, I will normally bra up. This has been one of my biggest bugaboos. This is a bugaboo for everybody here. I see so many women that go full broad in this kind of weather, and I just can't do that. It's just way too hot. And it becomes more of a problem if you have D or double D cups. This is my swimsuit top. I laugh at this one because it has 4 hook and eyes in the back. So for me, this is a real problem. This is all a real problem going braless here. Why? Because say I'm swimming and I'm out there swimming naked like my husband, my giant pancakes are floating upward and beat me in the face. So I have to wear something like this with enough support so that my own boobs don't beat me up. And I had to laugh because somebody told me that a certain creator has named me Suzanne Saggy Tits Meyer. That really makes me laugh. Man, if I could afford it, the first thing I would do is go get a reduction. There is nothing more miserable than hauling around D cups in this heat. There's just not. See if you have to wear a bra. So, most people here, most women, it's some variation of this, a rayon dress, a rayon beach dress, maybe underwear, maybe not. I recommend at least a little bit of underwear because if you don't, you're going to get what happens here is like what I've always called help. I have a bug bite on my butt crack. So the goal here is to wear enough that you're not getting eaten alive by insects, but not so much that your own clothing is going to make you sweat to death. Um, this morning's visit to the doctor was funny because the doctor's office and the hospital is the only place in Costa Rica, besides like going into a colder climate like Copa, it's the only place I will ever don a sweater. So when you come here, you don't get rid of all your winter clothes. You keep enough so if you go back to the States and you bring a sweater to these super cold places. I like my air conditioning, but you know what I like more? I like the ability to be warm. That's one of the nice things about living here. You'll get so acclimated to the heat that that thing will not come on until until it's like 94 in here. I'm just used to it. B, those are the most comfortable things on the planet. I have a ton of them. This poor puppy is almost worn out. It was navy blue. It was dark, dark blue when I got it. And it's got holes. That's the only drag about beach dresses. They're not really built for they're not built for constant washing. I will say that. That's one thing I do find frustrating here. And that's one of the reasons that I bought this one that I'm wearing at Costco because a couple months ago, Costco Price Mart, because the clothing doesn't hold up. And that's the other thing I want to talk about. The way the water is here with the heavy mineral load, you're also not gonna have much success washing anything. You're gonna use more washing powder, more washing solution, and the clothes aren't gonna become greatly clean here. Things are gonna get dingy in a hurry. I laughed about that. That's why I almost never wear a white here because it will turn gray after a while. For men, it's much simpler. They can just walk around in surfer jams 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, shirt, no shirt, whatever, and nobody will ever get onto them. And they don't have to worry about wearing what is almost like a modified corset in the water. I was researching the history of bras for this too, because this is something that people do ask me about a lot in private message about, well, where do you buy your bras and things when you're here? If you're one of those people that has to wear a bra for everything, where do you buy them? I buy mine in the US, not here. And if I have to buy them in the US and I can't get back for one of my crazy shopping trips, what I do is I buy them and I have them shipped through a company called Liberty Express. You ship to their address in Miami, they pick them up there and they get them to you in Tamarindo or wherever you are here when you need it. I've not had any luck here with buying Costa Rican bras. I bought a few, but the sad fact of the matter is if you're bigger than a B cup here, just like the States, it can be really hard to find, underwear. And the few bras that I have managed to find that are the right size haven't held up to the washing at all. Hey, Grandma. So there's that. So yes, the creator who loves to criticize me for not wearing a bra all the time. Hey, deal with it. When you turn 61, yours are going to sag too. That is just a sad fact of life. And if they're D cup or greater, they're going to make your back hurt. You're going to be ready to have those suckers cut off and reduced. I'm getting tired of having to wear a reduction, like a one that holds you firm. It's just really super expensive here, there. Getting it here is a pain in the butt, and if you're not flying, and there's a lot of clothing stores here, but you're not going to find a lot of quality. It's kind of, I've said before, this is a second world. Like we have first world, third world, second world. It's not it's first world in some aspects, then third world in others. The clothing that's available here is mostly very poorly made stuff from China. You're not going to see very many things And even the beach dresses are kind of flimsily put together and they're from China. But also, they're inexpensive enough where once they start getting holey, you can just toss them and run and grab another one altogether. So there's that. And why does it look like I'm bald right here? I guess it's just the reflection. So what I do is I go to the States. When I go to the States, I only bring two outfits, just two. And then I fill my bag with what I need. I got to do an inventory of my clothing here very shortly, go through everything and start tossing away everything that's holey or doesn't fit right, recycling it, taking it down to the Europa Americana. Europa Americana is a used clothing store here. They're everywhere. They have weird sizing. Sometimes the stuff is the right size, sometimes it's not. I've never had much luck with those. I've gone in there. I went in there a lot when I was in Copa trying to figure out if I could get another sweater because I only had one with me because I had never dreamed that Costa Rica was going to be that cold. Copa was extremely cold and it rained every day. So you really need a sweater. I say you need at least one good sweater here, even if you're living at the beach, because you're going to have those times when you have to run to the doctor's office or the hospital and they've got the AC turned up so high that you're going to have icicles coming off your rear end. Just went through my closet and I feel bad. It's almost all winter stuff, and they'll be happy in a few months. Half of it has tags on it. I have some things like that too. And I've also bought stuff at Goodwill in the States with tags still on it. Gorgeous stuff that fit me perfectly. So there's that. You can always give away to those places. Here it's a little more problematic. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give away anything that's still good that I don't wear that doesn't fit right. I'm just going to give it to the food bank. Because I have a feeling. Well, I'm going to have to talk to the lady that runs the food bank. There's an American lady here by the what's her name? There's an American lady here, an older lady. She runs the food bank, and she does a fabulous job. She gets all kinds of donations from the local grocery stores, from people here. And during the pandemic, they fed a ton of Ticos that had jobs in the travel industry and tourism that were suddenly jobless when the government here did a total and complete shutdown of everything for 2 months and then didn't allow tourists to return until November. And the tourism is still not 100% bounced back. It's better than it was. I'm not sure why they're still allowing tourists in because, like I've said, we've been having high rates for a long time now. We have the rates have come down some, but they've only come down to what our other high had been. So I'm waiting to see what happens with this. I understand everybody needs money, and the government here cannot fund everybody like in the States. Apparently, they were giving out all this money because I got someone was like, "What?" So there's that. So there's that. I'd really like to start sewing my own clothes again, but the fabric situation here is problematic. I know what I like, and I even like tie dye now. It was one of those things I thought was horribly tacky after I came out of the 70s, but I like it and I wear it. How many of you have things you bought and you regret sitting in your closet? I know I have. Closet of one size, so which is ridiculous, size 310 because of my meds. 38-inch inseam. Oh man. That must be because I know how hard it is to get exactly the right inseam. That is a long inseam. That's longer than my husband's. I mean, this is pretty long. I do too, and I have the same problem. My weight fluctuates because of the medications I'm on, because of the asthma and everything. And when I started taking Lyrica, I gained 15 more pounds, which I was not thrilled about. And here's the funny thing for me is I don't eat a lot. I don't. My husband said, I don't understand how you're not 110 pounds on what you eat. And I'm like, I guess my metabolism is just so messed up from a lifetime of steroids and stuff that it just does not work the way it's supposed to. So I'm like you, B. I have several different sizes. That's one nice thing about switching here to these beach dresses. It'll pull the tag up if I can. I think it says it on there. Tag must be worn off. This had a tag on it once upon a time that said the magic words all sizes, or it said one size fits all. Now, I'm not a big fan of one size fits all theology or one size fits all clothes, except for beach dresses, because it's absolutely true. They do fit most of the time. You have to be pretty extreme on either end for them not to fit. So I like one size fits all. I'm very comfortable with that idea now. A lot of them. 6 foot tall and all legs and no rear end. Oh, B, I'm envious. You know, I'm a little midget. When I married my husband, well, I can't say midget. I'm a little person compared to him. He he's tall. He's like 6 foot 2 or 3, and I'm 5 foot 2. Our wedding pictures look like he married a little person wearing an upside down over frosted cupcake, because here I am. I'm all wide, this giant dress, the giant petticoat under it, breast plenty, spilling out the top, and I just look ridiculous in my wedding photos. I would have loved to have some of your height. Some of the height, yeah. Cajuns are little. You're right. We're short too. We're short people. And the thing is, everybody in my family is taller than me. All of my kids are way taller than me. My son is almost my height, though. I'm not really sure what to make of that, but everybody's taller. I'm the short one for being a Cajun. My father was a short one, and he was part Cajun. So there's that. There is that. And the other thing here is a lot of us end up here are, just going to say menopause age. I've already been through menopause, so for me, it was not a big deal, but I have a lot of friends here who haven't. And when they start going through menopause, you'd be very surprised by what they don't wear. And that's the other thing here is people don't wear a lot of clothes. Women don't wear a lot of clothes. It's not unusual to walk into a church and see somebody wearing cutoffs that are up to their rear end, and part of their cheeks are hanging out, and a skimpy bikini top and flip-flops. That seems to be like the uniform here of a lot of women. They wear that. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think there is. If you got it, flaunt it. And a lot of them do. I know women that will show up wearing all kinds of things. And that's the interesting thing here too, is because it is so hard to obtain decent clothing, it's not unusual to see people wearing something with a stain or a hole on it. It's not a place where everybody has to be a fashion plate. And I kind of like that, because the DC area was very different. People put a lot of emphasis on designer clothing and such, and looking just a certain way. And many of the jobs I've held, I've had to wear a business suit. And I don't like that look. Thank God I brought no business suits or anything like that with me here. I brought exactly one jacket, like it would go with and I can throw that over pants if I ever have to dress up again, which is not happening. Yes, Amy, and that's the other thing with the Lyrica too. I don't want anything touching my skin on the left side. It's got to be loose and very light, because it feels like being stabbed to death with 100,000 needles if you don't. It's really easy for men to get their t-shirt and surfer jams here. Not so easy for women to get the clothing. Even though I will say Maxipoli here has a pretty good line. I actually was able to buy nightgowns. My dad said they're the immigrants. Germans from Russia. The whole family are tall and most are very large. I'm the little person. That's pretty funny. That's cute. From Russia. That's really interesting. Very interesting. Germans from Russia. I knew there were a bunch. And I remember reading when Laura Ingalls Wilder and her husband left the Dakotas and went down to Missouri to buy a farm. They, when they were traveling, they encountered an entire community of Germans that had lived in Russia and then come to the U.S. and set up their culture here. Because she talked about that, how odd they seemed to her. I imagine that would be quite the thing. My husband's entire family is German, and they came over. I guess I don't remember if it was right after, right before World War One. I'm normally not staggering over this stuff. I guess it's the medicine they gave me earlier. So it's interesting, all these places where people come from and they bring their different dress traditions. My mother is pure Cajun. She likes to pretend she's not, but she is. And she dresses for everything. She dresses up fancy for everything. Her brothers and sisters have always teased her about it. It's like, Barbara, where are you going? Where are you going? I'm going down to the post office to buy stamps. She's quite the clothes horse. And she's quite beautiful. She's always dressed up, got her makeup just so, and done her hair. I've always been more of in my personal life, the hippie philosophy. Wear your hair like you want to, wear what makeup you want to wear or not wear, and wear what clothing you feel comfortable in. Because that's really what it's all about. And that's for Costa Rica, being comfortable usually means something loose, something in cotton or rayon, maybe no underwear. Maybe no underwear. And that's, one of the biggest things here. So anyway, you've heard me rant and ramble about that, but they call you the little person. I now get called the little person in my family because I'm so short. I wish I was skinnier, but with steroids, that is always going to be a problem for me, unfortunately. Cindy Kunzman and I have talked about this many a times. You yo-yo because of the medicines, of the steroids and things. And at some point, you just decide, enough is enough. I'm just going to live my life as normal as possible, itchy lips, and not do anything else to try and not torture myself. Hey, Real Entertainment News. Amy, go shower. I know how that is. I'm getting ready to sweep mop. I don't like doing that. Not crazy about it, but it's got to get done. I've got to clean my bathroom and do the floor in there. No fun. I'd rather sit around on a Sunday and do anything but clean. But unfortunately, and I know it's kind of funny, I just had the maid here yesterday. I didn't let her do too much because there wasn't too much to do, but I forgot about the bathrooms. I was just going to scrub and mop the bathrooms today. No big deal, no big deal. Our first maid, it was kind of funny because she had back problems. So we kept having these conversations about what she could and could not do. And there wasn't a whole lot she did. She dusted. This lady dusted, which is good because I can't dust. Hey, Real, following each other today. Me and Real keep ending up in the same stream. How did that go, B? How was your family reunion? I'm in the same time zone as you, Real. I am in Mountain Time. Mountain Time, and for half the year, and the other half of the year, I'm in Central. Because we don't change time here. There's no time changes in Costa Rica because we're real near the equator. And it's kind of weird, and it took some getting used to. We have about 12 and a half hours a day of sunlight, and then we have about 11 and a half hours of dark. That took some getting used to, and one of the things I did to deal with it was I bought a sun lamp, one of the ones that gives you the kind of natural light the sunlight does. I bought a pile of regular lamps, so when the darkness hits, we just light up the house like we don't have an electric bill, which is kind of funny because we do have an electric bill and it is quite high here. A vacation. Yeah, where did you go, B? We are scheduling our vacation for fall. Son passed away in May, so but my son passed away in May, so most of the family didn't come, and the trip insurance wouldn't cover the cancellation because it was a suicide and not acceptable death. Oh my God. I am so sorry. That is horrible. The airlines and the insurance people, you'd think they would have a lot more compassion than that. One of my closest friends had a stroke last week, and she asked me to come out and visit her and stay with her and we've been on the phone a bunch because I had a similar little minor stroke 3 years ago. And I was telling her all the things I had to do to recover because stroke doctors, they won't tell you too much. They'll just say, go home and rest, take these medications. Um, they don't tell you that you're going to get this horrible, horrible, horrible fatigue that's going to take 3 to 6 months to lift. That you're not going to feel like doing anything. You'll get up in the morning, do a few things. You're like, oh, I'm done. I'm laying back in my rocking chair now. Heck with everybody and everything. So there's that. And I tried to get a ticket to go out to fly out sooner. I actually have a ticket to fly out in mid to late May. And I'm flying to that area. I'm flying back to DC, but I thought maybe I could get them to push it up because my friend had asked me and she'd had a stroke. No dice. And because so many people are flying from Costa Rica to the Americas to get their shots, get their COVID vaccines, there just aren't seats on the airplanes. And when you can find a seat, it's about 2 times at least more expensive than normally. Now, I just booked my tickets for my fall trip that I always go back to the States and my Christmas trip when I always go back to the States. Christmas here is insane. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but I got them for the regular price. But I think it's because I booked months in advance. It's the only way now. No internet and horrible ant problems. We made the best of it. It's a beautiful lodge near a lake here in Wisconsin. I've seen pictures of that. My friend had a stroke. Her husband is from Wisconsin, and they go all the time to the Wisconsin Dells and hang out there. No, I'm not going to need hotels, Aaron. I'm staying with my kids in their new house they just bought. So I have a place to stay when I go to the DC area. And we are going to the DC area for that. Christmas is going to be, we always pick a city and fly a different city and fly to that place and stay there the week for Christmas. Why would we go away for Christmas here? Because Christmas is one of the 2 busiest tourist weeks in the entire year. If you come here for Christmas, well, if you live here at Christmas, you'll be in the grocery store. It'll be completely packed. There'll be no baskets. And everybody's running around like they're on crack. And you're going, what happened? Why is it so damn busy in here? Say, oh, Christmas week. So they'll be out of everything. Everybody from San Jose also adds to the madness by coming to Tamarindo and the other little beach towns around us. So there's all these Ticos. There's all these Americans have come down. It's just miserable. You can't get anywhere near the beach. If you go to the beach, it's like wall to wall, even if you're going to Grande, which is usually pretty deserted, or Las Ventanas, or some of the other local beaches. Wall to wall people. Wall to wall people. The prices for everything are escalated during Christmas season here. Everything. They raise the prices because tourists. There was a problem they had a couple of years ago, back the week of Christmas, where I forgot the name of the company, but one of the companies that makes drinks here, like sodas, threw a huge series of concerts in Tamarindo. And one night, the traffic going into Tamarindo was so bad, they shut down the main road. It was this gridlock. A guy in Tamarindo had a heart attack, and they could not get him out in an ambulance, and he died. because there's only one paved road into the beach and one paved road back out of the beach. It's a problem. I know the back road, and I take the back road a lot. It's goes up and down over mountains. It's not paved, and it can get kind of dicey when there's rain. Or then there's the other back road I take, which I won't take in rainy season because I got bogged down almost exactly a year ago on that road. I got so bogged down in my four-wheel drive, I got to about within 10 feet of where the pavement started. I'd already gone through so many acres of mud. I was just stuck. And I have some very funny photos I have to post about that too, of myself, head to toe mud. Looked like I had done a mud bath. I laughed so hard over that in the long run. It's like, hallelujah anyway. Slot machines. Oh, wow, B, that's awesome. That is so awesome that you were able to do that. Beginner's luck. A lot of times I've seen that too. People who don't normally gamble will win. One side effect is it helps you lose weight and it's helping. Oh, Aaron, I'm jealous. The ones I'm on say may gain weight. You think? Especially with the Lyrica. I mean, and the Lyrica has made me gain a little weight. So it's going to have to be back on the mostly vegetables and fruits diet with just a little bit of meat and almost no carbs. I don't like living like that, but it does help my asthma. So I'm going to have to do that soon, I think. So anyway, you guys, I have, you had to talk your doc into it. Sometimes you have to do that. This morning I had to talk my doc into giving me an antibiotic because I've just been having this sinus infection and it just keeps going on and on and on. And I've got a lot of pain in my ears. And they were looking at my ears saying, yes, you've got a ear infection too. But they don't like to give you antibiotics. And I understand that. I usually try to use 10,000 milligrams of garlic 4 times a day to kill it. But I've been doing this for 2 months and this thing is lingering. Time to haul out the hardcore antibiotics. That's what we did today. But I had to kind of talk him into it at first. Doctors are kind of funny about some of these things. And it was so funny because I got baby doctor. The reason I call him baby doctor is he's a nice young man. He's a nice Tico young man. His older brother is my neurologist who's treated me and seen me a couple of times, who I'm going to see in San Jose yet again. I'm going to see his brother. And he's older, and I'm a little feisty with him when he tries to put me on drugs that I know I can't take. But he's a pretty decent guy. He's the best one, and they say he's one of the best ones in Costa Rica, best neurologist. So, hey, I'm down for that. I'm on one that made me know we'll lose way too much. You're right about that, B. That's way, way too much. When I used to be a young woman and I was doing strict weight control, anytime I went below about 120 pounds, I would just get dreadfully ill. I just knew that I could not do the thing where I go below 120 pounds. And quite frankly, the healthiest weight for me where I've ever felt the best is like 135, 140. I would love to go down to 140 again. Oh, the ketamine infusion helped. Yeah, I get that. We were talking about that today because we were talking about what I take and what I don't take, and it's actually quite a load. I had to laugh yesterday because I went into Reddit, and one of the subreddits that I went in there initially to cuss everybody out because and call them meanies because they were talking about all these people with mast cell being fakers. It's called illness fakers. That's the name of the subreddit. But I started reading and I realized something. All these people they're talking about that are illness fakers, even mast cellies, are crazier than a barrel of shithouse rats. And they are not that sick, a lot of them. Yesterday, I had to laugh because I went in there and one of them showed her emergency kit with her meds and everything. And I just laughed because I was like, that is the lamest one I've seen yet. My own emergency kit contains some of those same things, but a whole lot more for the same illness. And I had to explain to everybody how you have to carry 2 EpiPens when you carry EpiPens, not one, because sometimes it can take 2 to turn something off. And if it happens to be one of those times when you need the 2 and you only have the 1, you're screwed. The other thing with that is the other thing with those stupid EpiPens is you have to keep replacing them every year. They're quite expensive too. So why on earth would you do something like that if you didn't need it? Because they are expensive. They're like $600 each, which is ridiculous. They're not that much if you have insurance, thank God, but they're still quite high. I don't do it. I actually keep mine a little longer now than the standard year. I used to do a year when they were only $35. So she had in this emergency kit 1 EpiPen, children's liquid Benadryl, and just other, I mean, just really ridiculous things. If she was as sick with mast cells, she would have had injectable Benadryl and the pills just to be on the safe side. There's a whole lot of things that I have in mind that she doesn't have. I have an N95 mask. I have my wind filter. I have a lot of things. And I don't take pictures of it and show it on social media and say, look at the horribleness of my emergency kit for mast cell. Erin, you were right. They do need a psych eval. They really do. And I know they do GoFundMe's. This one was also saying that she gets Xolair injections. She gets 1 injection once a month. I'm very puzzled by that because the standard amount that people get is usually 2 vials every 2 weeks. That's the standard dose. That's how much I was on. That's the standard dose a lot of people take. Once a month won't do anything, quite frankly. Give you protection for maybe 2 weeks and you're getting half a dose. Well, who knows? Oh, you forgot it? Oh my gosh, B, that is horrible. That's even worse. That has to compound your grief even more. And you know when you have emotional things like mourning your child, that's going to make the reaction be worse. I mean, we were talking about that in one of the groups I'm in. There is some evidence that if you're agitated or upset, it drives those things just a lot worse. It releases enough histamines and different things already. So I'm so terribly sorry you had to go through that. Both your son, the thing with your son, and getting stung by a bee. It must have been a nightmare trip. I can just imagine. I'm now afraid to fly because of the fuzzy dog thing. So I don't know what's going to happen when I get on the plane in almost exactly 3 weeks. I guess I will bring my wind filter and my mask. And I'll bring my portable nebulizer. I'll have to do that and some meds with me. I haven't either. And I'm allergic to bees. That's one of the allergies I have. But thankfully, I haven't been stung. Now, here in Costa Rica, I've been bitten by kind of every bug in the world. Like I said, one of the chapters in my book on Costa Rica is called Help, I Have a Bug Bite on My Butt Crack. Because that happened. That happened to me. That happened to my husband. And it was kind of strange. There is nothing worse than getting bug bites in weird places that you have to turn to your partner and say, look at this, look at this, look at my butt crack. tell me what's back there. Or one time he got bitten on his scrotum on the underside and he kept trying to show it to me. And I was like, I don't want to look at the underside of your scrotum. Get that thing away from me. So there's that. There's a lot of bugs here. You just have to, but you learn to cope with it. I use an organic um, bug off kind of thing when I go out that's made out of coconut oil and different things. This seems to work pretty well. I don't get too many bug bites when I go out. I always tell people when you come here, bring your bug repellent and bring your sunblock. Now, I don't have that problem with burning. I almost never burn because I have so much Native American blood, I guess, and I'm Cajun, so I'm dark to begin with. And that has created some funny things here for me too, because when I'm not with my husband, I'm sometimes thought to be Costa Rican because I'm dark and I had dark hair before it started going gray. And people will come up to me and talk to me in Spanish. And my Spanish, I have Spanish. It's just rudimentary. I couldn't carry on a long conversation like this. I can buy things. I can ask questions. Oh, pants, leg, and stung me. Oh, your butt. Oh, yes. B, I've done that where you got bit by something and you're doing the strip in the middle of wherever you are and you're taking everything off looking for where the bug bite is. That's got to be the worst, but it is kind of funny to watch. I'll say that. Yeah. I had that happen one time too with my daughter had a snake. My oldest daughter had this big ball python, I think it was, and she showed it to me and it made a motion and it jumped all over me. It just got on me and it went inside my dress. And I took my dress off in front of all my kids while I was screaming, standing there in my underwear, because I did not want a snake down my dress. Snakes. I know a lot of people love them. I'm sorry, you can have them. They're not my favorite thing at all. Not at all. So anyway, I have rambled and ranted a lot today, starting talking about those things and why you will sometimes see me braless here. I mean, it just happens. I'm sorry. I'm a D cup. Anytime I take my bra off, you're going to see big old sagging pancakes, not silver dollars like somebody else has. In this side of the closet while he's not home. Aaron, that's evil, but I've done something similar. When I married my husband, he had clothes going all the way back to the 1960s in his closet. It was like, hey, nobody needs these Madras shorts. Why do you have these Greg Brady pants? He had a pair of pants, I swear, could have been worn by Greg Brady on the Brady Bunch. Lime green and rust and white striped. I had to make him get rid of those things. They were so ugly. Yeah, y'all have a great week. I can see my internet is bad and my eye is hurt and I'm going to go lay down. Y'all have a great weekend. Great beginning of the week, I should say.